Next, it's a question of etiquette, good manners. How do you conduct yourself while waiting in line? Is it true that ours is typically a nation of instant gratification dominated by a me-first attitude, and that the British are really better-mannered, more patient than Americans? Miguel Marquez looks back at who survived when the Titanic went down to see how things used to be and how they may change for tonight's Sign of the Times.
As an American here, there is at least one thing I've learned. Brits love to line up, queuing as they call it. They'll do it for just about anything. Whether it's an hour-long wait at the post office or 15 minutes just for a simple cup of coffee. Even on a miserably rainy or foggy day in London town, Brits line up. But could lining up be deadly? You know, a recent study suggested that more Americans survived the Titanic disaster because they were more apt to jump the line for those very few lifeboats. The point? More Brits died because they were more polite and possessed superior social skills. So is it true? Are American elbows really so sharp that when push comes to shove, we don't care if others die? Yeah. In Titanic, More Than a King, he knows his quantitative analysis of socio-behavioral norms in a crisis situation. Let me explain. The study is called Surviving the Titanic Disaster: Economic, Natural, and Social Determinants. Not quite as sexy as Jack and Rose. It looked at exact reasons why 1,517 people, 68%, lost their lives when the Titanic sank. It found survival isn't random. In 1958's A Night to Remember, the Brits fiddled. Trust me!
I trust you!
James Cameron's Titanic added the ingenious American trying to save himself and his new lady friend. No! The study confirmed what Hollywood deduced. Despite the Titanic being a British ship, British passengers survived at a rate 10% lower than other nationalities. By contrast, Americans had a 12% better chance of surviving that fateful night. Researchers strike it up to Britain's gentleman culture, the British being, well, British, lined up, queued, allowing others to jump ahead. Too much after you, old chap, not enough, every man for himself. So how is it that Americans and Brits can share a language and so much history, yet be so different?
Almost everything we learn.
Linda Blair is an American behavioral psychologist. She's observed Brits for 35 years.
Because Americans are founded on the importance of the individual, and British has these traditions of respect for everyone else. And in really difficult times, your basic roots come through.
But Americans respect others.
They do respect them, but not to the same degree, not to the same degree in behavior.
Yeah, but the Titanic sank ages ago. Certainly things have changed. As British people, how often do you queue?
It's part of our culture,
yeah,
you know, and we tend to queue quite a lot.
What is the longest you've ever waited for something?
Probably an hour and a half to get into a pub.
Must have been a good pub.
It was a good pub.
Probably for a ladies' toilet.
And how long was that?
Over an hour.
Over an hour!
In a nightclub in London.
Where Americans avoid lines, Brits embrace them.
So you need to go back and fill that in.
Even Brits hitchhiking across the galaxy get it.
Listen to me. I'm British. I know how to queue.
If you just sort of peel everything back and it comes to queuing up, lining up.
Yep.
What is the difference between Brits and Americans?
Right. Brits will wait patiently and unthinkingly in order to maintain the order, and Americans will get what they need.
Latte?
But things are changing for Brits, who now demand faster, better customer service, their queue tolerance waning. Americans have road rage, Brits increasingly have queue rage. There are even fistfights, sometimes with deadly results. Not very British at all. Speaking of which, this is one line I am cutting. I don't like the look of these guys. For Nightline, I'm Miguel Marquez, jumping the queue in London.